For this next workout, you're going to need land, gravity, and some bands. Bands are really an amazing tool. They're light, they can pack into a suitcase, very easy, so they can go anywhere you go. And what they offer is resistance in different planes, different levels, and not just relying on gravity, so you can get a little bit more out of them. So the first thing we're going to do is move into a simple little squat with the bands providing some resistance. So your knees, when you've got the bands on them, they're pulling you in, and all you're doing is pushing out against the resistance. That's engaging your glutes a little bit more. So feet about hip width, shoulders out. You're going to sit back into that squat and just push against the bands. You're going to feel that you activate gluteus medius, the little one on the side, a little bit more. Next, we've got push-ups. Three most common mistakes with this we see are people who will lead with their head, sag too much, or they'll push up with their elbows up too high. What we want is a nice strong core, good position, and just good control. So here, lock in. Next, we've got banded push-ups. These are a great way to make push-ups more difficult. So band stays on your thumb, wraps around, under the elbow. Good positioning, lock in the core. Normal push-up rules apply. Driving up and down. The really good thing is it's actually making the push-up harder at the end of the movement, so it's adding extra value there as well. If a conventional push-up is too hard, the knee variation is really helpful. We find one of the best ways is having a full push-up on a lower, knees for a half up. And you'd be surprised at how quickly that'll increase your overall strength doing that half and half push-up. Next, we've got one arm band row. First thing you're going to do is take the band and loop it through itself like that. Take your time, make sure you got this right. It's really important. I'll do that once more. Take the band, loop it through itself so it's safely on whatever upright you're using. Super important that it's an upright that is fixed, so it's not going to fly and whack you in the face when you start rowing. So you've now got your rowing apparatus. What you're then going to do is step back, ideally kneeling on something comfortable, and set yourself up so tall body, everything's lined up nice and straight. And you're in a position where you've got enough tension on the band for it to be worthwhile. So here, and you're going to row back, really focusing on squeezing that right shoulder blade. And the great thing is, as you want to make it harder, you can just move a little bit further away and you increase the stretch and therefore the resistance. Swapping sides, swap knees, and then same thing. Set up nice and tall, lock everything in, nice and aligned. In particular, you don't want to turn it into just a curl. It wants to be good posture, working through the back. Just like on the squats, adding the band into this increases the resistance for the glutes, in particular the glute medius. So you're going to place the band just above your knee, feet hip width, lying back, locking in the core, and then just pushing out against the band as you drive up. And what you'll notice is the glutes have to fight just that little bit harder because of the resistance of the band. As always with a glute bridge, really focus on not arching through the back. You want to keep it nice and neutral and drive with the glutes. The next one is reverse skaters. First things first, placing the band around your ankles. And we always do it sitting down because that way you're not going to trip over and it's just easier. You stand up. What we're looking for is continuous tension on the band, and just going to step back and drive like that. Key mistakes people make is they'll kind of drop step, so don't do that. And the other one is just doing it too quick. You want to make it deliberate, and you do want to get a bit of a burn going in the glutes. So controlled, deliberate, hips are staying pretty square, they're not dropping, and you'll get a good burn in the side of the glutes. Next we've got reverse flies. Start with your hands about shoulder width apart, pull out, really focusing as you're going on squeezing the shoulder blades without arching, without wriggling. If it's too hard, you can take a slightly wider grip so you're reducing the work the band's doing. If it's too easy, you can bring it a little closer so the band is achieving more stretch. That there's probably right for me. Next bodyweight exercise is a hamstring bridge. For this, you're going to need some sort of a bench or a plyo box. And we're going to start out with a double leg variation with a slight bend in the knee. So lining everything up, lock in the core, and you're just going to bring it up and hold. And we really like the isometric hold. We're just holding it for time under tension. So it might be 30 seconds you're holding for. Once 40 seconds of double leg is too easy, move to single leg. So same rules apply, slight bend in the knee, lock in the core, drive up, and then hold. You might start with just 20 seconds because it is a little more intense, and then alternating. So you go down, swap sides, and hold. Really pushing through the heel. Next up, we've got a straight arm plank. So hands a little wider than shoulder width apart, tuck the butt under, lock in the core, so belly button in, and you're just going to hold that position. If that's a little bit too easy, you can also progress to a shoulder tap. So you're going to lock in, tap, just swapping, and just making that core work a little harder as you go. The last exercise is calf raises. Make sure you've got a good balance point, nice and safe, and all you're going to do is pushing up on the balls of your feet, really focus on that big toe joint and really loading up through there. So we don't want to be loading through the smaller toes, we want to be turning the feet out like that. Load up through that big toe joint, nice and smooth. You can do these off a small step, do it off the ground, but the main thing is where you're loading that weight. Once you're comfortable with 25, double leg, you can then move into a single leg variation. So it's simply here, and you are up and down like that. Same rules apply, really load through that big toe joint, deliberate, controlled, and make those calves work.